Hello, my name is Anonymous. I'm the author of several books about leadership and human potential. And today I would like to share with you a story. A story about a man named Elias Kaelen, who was just an average guy until one day everything changed. Have you ever met someone who looked perfectly normal, yet carried a secret so terrifying it could destroy them from the inside? Someone who seemed average yet was anything but. Maybe you've even been that person yourself. This is the story of a man named Elias Kaelen, and how he discovered that average living was far more dangerous than he ever imagined. Elias Kaelen lived in a small town outside London. On the surface, he was like everyone else, going to work at the same dull office, drinking the same cheap coffee, coming home to the same quiet apartment. Scrolling through the same social media feeds every night. He wasn't poor, he wasn't rich. He was average. He had average looks, an average job, average friends. His life was like a TV show set on mute. You could watch it, but couldn't hear the passion, the dreams, the ambitions. It was all there. And then there were nights when Elias stared at the ceiling, wondering why his life was just a series of averages. He often whispered to himself, "Maybe this is all life has for me." One stormy night, as Elias walked home from work, he noticed an old abandoned church at the edge of town. People said it was haunted. Normally, he avoided it, but that night, something pulled him inside. The heavy wooden door creaked as he entered. Rain poured in through the broken windows, creating puddles on the damp floor. The air was thick with the scent of decay, and the silence was deafening. And then he heard it. A whisper. "Why do you settle for less when greatness is waiting?" Elias froze. His heart raced. The voice was not outside him. It was inside his head. He spun around, but no one was there. The voice echoed again. "Why do you remain average when you were born to be extraordinary?" Startled, Elias moved forward. In the flickering shadows, he saw a sight that made him gasp. On the altar, a cracked mirror appeared. As he approached, the whispering grew louder. "Look inside, Elias. Look and see." With trembling hands, he wiped the grime off the mirror. It wasn't just any mirror. It was a portal to another reality. What he saw inside was both terrifying and exhilarating. Elias saw himself, but not the average timid man he recognized. It was a man who radiated power, purpose, and courage. The stranger was strong, confident, and seemed to glow with an inner light. The stranger looked back at Elias, his eyes filled with urgency and a hint of sadness. Then the voice boomed, "This is who you could be. This is your true self, trapped by your own fears and doubts. Are you too afraid to break free?" The voice echoed in Elias's mind long after he left the church that night. Sleep evaded him. The whispers echoed through his dreams. With 4 weeks, the church loomed over him, a constant reminder of the extraordinary potential hidden within him. He knew he couldn't keep living a life of mediocrity. The fear of never realizing his true potential was more terrifying than the risk of trying. Are you like Elias? You feel a part of you is trapped, yearning to break free? We all have a choice: live a life of safety and mediocrity, or embrace the unknown and reach our potential. That night, Elias decided to take action. He started small, waking up earlier, working harder, learning new skills, pushing himself beyond his comfort zone. Each day he confronted his fears, proving to himself he was more than his perceived limitations. The fear didn't vanish, but he learned to channel it, turning his anxiety into fuel for greatness. People around him were shocked. They saw Elias transform from a timid colleague into a confident leader, from a shy acquaintance into someone who could light up a room. But Elias knew the truth. He wasn't doing it for their approval. He was doing it for himself. He was embracing the extraordinary version of him, the one who was always there, waiting to be unleashed. One day, years later, Elias stood in front of a crowd, sharing his story. He was no longer the scared average guy. He was a beacon of inspiration. Looking out at the faces before him, he knew he wasn't just living a life of purpose. He was fulfilling his potential. The extraordinary version of us is already inside us. Most people will live and die average, not because they lack talent, but because they lack courage. Elias chose courage. He chose discipline. He chose greatness. And so can you. Your haunted place isn't an abandoned church. It's your own excuses. The mirror is your conscience, constantly showing you who you could be. If you dare to break free from average, the world will no longer ignore you. It will remember you. Q.